All right, good morning, guys. Quick sound check. Let me know if you can hear me. Good morning. Sound check good. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right. We got about 5 minutes here now until the bell. And I don't love overall where we're at. So I did the Sunday stock talk. I guess I could go tag everybody in that. There we go. So I don't know. I'm looking here, and it's like all right. Volume's pretty decent. We're at 213,000 contracts traded. We're now down, about 18 points or so here in the S&Ps, down 0.25. Nasdaq here is down about 100.37. Russell's red by a couple points, 4 or 5 points here, 0.18. And the Dow is down, 124 points here, 0.24%. So there's really nothing standing out there. Nasdaq is a little bit weaker, yes, than the rest of the markets. I think that makes sense either way, right? When we look at the Sunday stock talk, kind of the main piece of the week, I think, in general, is just going to be index selection, like where in which market do you decide to get into. And when you look at the S&Ps, you look at Nasdaq, Russell, Dow, they're all a little bit different here. So I'm not too surprised that Nasdaq's the weaker market here. It's just weaker overall. You look at a weekly chart of that, and you look at a weekly chart of something like the Dow, and it's like clearly there's a difference here in which one of these markets is leading and which one of them is not. And that's a very strange kind of position, I feel like, to be in, specifically with the Nasdaq Dow. Like normally it's not that way. Like normally the Nasdaq is the one leading this move. So I say all of that to say that the indices as a whole, like even right now, we're getting new lows on the day, right, overnight session in the Dow here, but we're not getting that currently in any of the other indices at the moment. So maybe Dow is a little bit weaker than NASDAQ from that perspective, but at the same time, also percentage change wise, it is not weaker than the NASDAQ. So we're in a very, that can kind of sound like it contradicts each other in a way, and it does, which I think is kind of the point here, is like which one of these markets and when you pick it is going to be essentially what makes or breaks the trade and potentially the week here. So with that being said, I am watching the Russell here off 2668.70s. We're currently like 5-ish points away from that level at the moment. That's going to kind of be like my first line in the sand, if you will. See if we can hold that. If we do start to chop around and like kind of go sideways from there, then not necessarily something I really am going to put too much attention to. And if that's the case, then that likely means that the rest of the markets are probably going to be pretty much trash at that point. In terms of S&Ps here, yeah, I mean, we're down 16 points. We're just slightly red. Overnight highs up here, 69.80s, 69.20s on lows. So we got like 60 points worth of range. I don't really see a play in here today unless we get like a beautiful picture perfect divergence, like something in there sets up that's just, you can't deny it. It's the prettiest thing you've ever seen, which is not likely going to happen. Then, obviously we can look at something like that. But in the S&Ps, that's all I'm at the moment watching for. I think it's more of a day-to-day, kind of see how Friday's action unfolds. Could we go down, take out the overnight lows, and then rally it back up, take out overnight highs? Possibly, and that's where I would kind of look for that divergence if we're going to get one to occur. NASDAQ here, kind of same picture, but ultimately I think it might try and go a little bit lower first, so I'm not super interested in that. I think the surprise move kind of across the board, which would be absolutely massive, and I wrote it in the Sunday Stock Talk, was essentially that YM is just a powerhouse at all-time highs. Divergences for longs are pretty much a no-brainer unless we take out that green bar from Friday. And I think that's the surprise move. Like if we were to open today and just completely erase all of Friday's action across the board in all four indices, yes, that would mean the Dow's got to sell off like 700, 800 points from here. So it'd be down, 800, 900 points on the day, whatever it is. I think that's the surprise move. It's not the move I'm necessarily kind of expecting or going to be playing for, though, if that makes sense. So, anyways, that's what I got. That's loud. There's the bell. And let's see what we can get here. I do kind of like NVIDIA, though, as well, for a potential move off this 184.45s. That was in the write-up for the Sunday Stock Talk as well. I could see that trying to make a move this week. But initially, I'd like to see us try to go lower first here and hold, and then see if we can't rally back from that. Russell first initial move down into 68.70s here now. And we're kind of bouncing fairly quick off that. Opening print is 75. I'm going to try just a touch, just a very, very little touch. Coming off those 68.70s. This is in the game plan. It was in the Sunday Stock Talk. Lows right now are 67.40, so stops are somewhere down there. Give or take your entry, it's about 4 points worth of risk. Tesla with some weakness. Russell made new lows there. 66.70s. All right, I closed that. I'm still open to it, but it's pushing a little bit further than I would like. Now it's going to pop back up. Are you kidding me? That's what we're doing this week, Monday morning. If you didn't stop out of it, I think it's still fine. Damn, hard move down in Netflix, Apple. And Dow back up. Oh, 2 opening print, not quite through it just yet. This Nvidia move looks good. I don't necessarily know how to play it, but Russell's actually a good exit on our part. Russell's actually pushing through there now, getting more weakness than I expected. Again, that surprise move is still the complete erase of that move. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I'm not I'm not discounting it either. Oh, these Nvidia 0 DTE additions here. Interesting. I don't see how to play Nvidia at the moment. I don't love the options pricing in there, but if you can, then I think you got to give it the I think you got to give it room under these lows, like 184s basically. She's a mover. She's a runner. She's a track star. That one's gonna hurt. That one's gonna hurt. AMD is stupid expensive as well. Some real weakness there in Amazon and Apple right out the gate. Netflix with a hard bar down as well. AMD and Nvidia though don't seem to care. If we get pullbacks, I mean, there's nothing in Nvidia until 192.84s. If we can get pullbacks in there or get something that makes sense, some type of pause, consolidation for a moment, then I think we'll be good to go. Russell Dow made new lows here. S&P's NASDAQ pushing highs. Interesting little kind of flip on this strength so far. We'll see if Russell can't push back up to these 68.70s. And then potentially if we can get rejected from it and then go back through it, then I like longs. Or if we can push up above it and pull back to it, then I like longs. I still think there's a viable long in the Russell today. It would, like I said, it would be a big surprise to see that completely fail. But a little 1, 2, 3 for longs tomorrow in there also would make sense, which I wrote in the Sunday Stock Talk. If you guys see anything else moving, like Nvidia, AMD, Microsoft getting a little bit of love, but if there's anything else, Feel free to drop it in the chat for me. Russell kind of pushing up through here now. S&P and NASDAQ pushing highs here. A little bit of weakness here now in the Russell coming off these 6870s. We'll see if this is the rejection from that or if we're going to push back up through it. If you wanted to try longs, as I say that, if you wanted to try longs back up over 6870s, I wouldn't say I blame you on that. The highs here on the day, 7560s. So 7-8 points worth of room. This video is gonna hurt though. Yeah, the Dow's pretty stuck. Maybe I was wrong on the surprise move. Maybe the surprise move is that S&Ps and NASDAQ have a big trend day like Russell and Dow did from Friday. That would also probably be a bit of a surprise here. At the moment, it kind of seems like that's what we're working on. I did say in the S&Ps though, if we're kind of choppy and not really going to do a ton, then we'll kind of come down, take out overnight lows, pop back up to overnight highs here, which is about a 60-point move. So it's not like it's a little move by any means. The charts are taking a bit to switch there. There goes Russell pushing back up towards opening print there. NVIDIA is just an absolute menace to society. And I am society. That was written in the Sunday Stock Talk as well. 192.84 is quickly approaching here. Saw a quick little Russell rally there to 74s and then pulling back now a little bit. Gold getting a little bit of a rally here. You guys see what I mean by index selection? Like today, if you were bullish on either S&Ps or NASDAQ, that would be working. If you were bullish on Russell or Dow, it is not working. It's not working at all at the moment. Dow's actually pushing back down towards, maybe going to make a new low here as well. This NVIDIA move is nuts. Dow's about to make new lows. Anybody catch NVIDIA? Like, I hope someone did. Because that's a really nice move. Yeah, the risk indicator, it's available in the Discord. You can join the Discord for free and just grab the link from there. But yeah, it's all in there. Down new lows. Russell still holding this 68, 70 area. I don't love that topping tail up to 74s and then like pulling back, but we probably go retest it at this point with Dow making the new lows. Would be my guess here. And try and push up there to that 26.75 opening print. Maybe we push through, get new highs. I don't blame you there. I don't mind that. What was that? What was that? That take you out? Yeah, I don't know what that was. It looked real. I mean, I saw us like actually trade down there. NVIDIA is coming up here into 192.84. These contracts have gone from 20 cents to $1.83 at the moment. insane. The crazy thing is there's like nothing above here either until 202s. I don't know if Nvidia can make a move to 202s today or not, but it certainly just did a pretty bold statement there. Jinx, you owe me an eval. What I jinx on? Is that you, Gabe? Sint Gmon? Oh yeah, Nvidia making its way to 202. Yeah, I've used it a bit. I've kind of used it more so as not necessarily in that sense. I've done a couple things kind of along the lines with that, but mostly as like just a Google, like a conversation piece with what would be questions you would ask Google. I like it. I mean, it's good for random like off the wall, 2 a.m. type thoughts where it's like, hey, can I do such and such with, this type of thing. Um, But yeah, I haven't done it. I mean, I've seen people like talk about using it for trading from like creating a bias or a plan or all these things. Um, I just don't know that I've seen any like anything worth doing from that standpoint, like from a strategy standpoint or recommend me this best stock type thing. So I don't know that I've seen the benefit from that side, but for sure the journaling, feedback, reviewing trades. Like I'd imagine you could upload like a CSV file of like your recent trades and have it kind of figure out with that information like what's the best course of action for you or what you struggle with or etc. I'm sure it would probably be able to figure that out pretty easy. Russell's right back up here at the 6870s. I think we probably get rejected for the moment. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Is Russell going to hold here or not? That's the question. AMD still moving, but Nvidia's kind of chilled out a bit, which it needed to. That was straight to 192. I don't really think it's worth playing AMD, but that seems to be the one that's moving now. Between AMD and Nvidia, AMD is certainly moving. Just trying to break up through these like 217 give or take area where we failed at on the earnings gap. Russell's actually trying to get back up through there now too. I grabbed a couple of these NVIDIA 200s for today, just on the off chance. There's no technical entry or anything in here. I'm just also a little bit annoyed with missing that first move. So we're at a decent little pullback here at this point. Dow's starting to rally back. Russell's still struggling with his 68.70s here. I think having a loss on an attempt for a long in the Russell is completely okay here. Like that was in the plan, and realistically, I'm going to take that every single time that it happens. I kind of want to try another little piece of Russell here. Stops under 65.10. It's about 4 points. It's either that or you choose NASDAQ. One or the other here. I don't think that that's probably the greatest move. My charts are taking forever to change anyway, so I can't actually tell. Maybe. I see that, but I kind of like the Russell still. Again, I could completely choose the wrong index and start the week off like that, which is fully expected and anticipated that if we choose the wrong one today, that's going to be the case. Also, partially why I wanted to put a little bit of NVIDIA on if that does something stupid. If it goes from 192.84s to 202s, kind of like what it did this morning first thing, then I would be okay with having some on in there. And if it doesn't, then I'll be okay with whatever the loss is that I want to put on. I just watched those contracts go from 20 cents to $2 and basically 40 cents at highs, back down to 90 cents, and currently printing about 110, 120. Russell's struggling here a little bit more than I would like it to. See if we can't get a quick little pop in there. There we go. All right, we got about 3 points in the Russell here. It's bad when I'm happy about 3 points. Just so you guys know. We got a whopping 3 points here. I'd like to see us pop up through and at least get new highs on the day. There you go, Russell. Got about 6 points in the Russell here. See if we can't push up through and grab those highs. 75.60, opening print 75. We're kind of rechecking back to the highs of this 74 little 2-minute bar we were at earlier, 74.20s. So we were at about we weren't quite 2 hours. See if we can't push those highs. S&P's about to do it, NASDAQ about to do it as well. The real question is, should we scalp this or just take it all off entirely and whatever it gives us here? $75.60s printed there. See if we can't push a little bit more. I could be being a dick for a tick here, but risk reward wise, it kind of makes sense to do it. Push. Push. All right. I'm going to lock in 74.70s here on a trail. We got about 7 points in this now, so I'm giving it, give or take a point or so to come back on me. And if it wants to continue to rip, then we'll hold it. If not, we'll give it that point to come back. And I'm just basing that right off of 75 being that opening print, assuming we can hold that, continue to push through these highs. Boom. There we go. 74.70s on a trail. I'll take that. Nice little scalp there. That makes up for the first initial morning loss and then some on RTY. I would probably prefer to hold this, but I don't trust the way that move has been overall today. Like I said, we could just get ticked out here and it keep ripping, which is fine if it does. I'm more than okay with what with what we got there. Oh, you got a funded next eval? Did you use my like 18-digit long code that they wouldn't give me a custom one for? No, it's not. Blowing money fast. Russell still pushing. A little new high print there. S&Ps and NASDAQ did make new highs. So did the Russell. Dow did not. So a little bit of an interesting kind of move between indices themselves. Apple weak, Microsoft strong, coming off those 406s. I think honestly, probably the best move on the day was Nvidia up in 192.84s, and maybe if it gets up through there again, I don't know if I'll be here for that, but Russell, a little move we just caught, makes sense. NASDAQ rallying back. I guess we were technically higher yet in the overnight, so we're kind of looking like that first initial, or that plan for S&Ps to pop lows and then rally up to try and go get highs maybe. Would make sense here. I think we're honestly, I don't think we have the momentum to do anything crazy on the day. I don't think it's that type of day where we run away to the upside. Like I just don't see that. Decent little move out of the Russell. Probably could have held a little bit there, but It is what it is. Russell still pushing here. The Dow is yet to come back up through. It's right at opening print at this point. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we do rip. Russell at least seems to think so. Those contracts I gave up at 74.70, I wouldn't mind having back. Tesla, nice little rally there too. I don't know. I might leave it at that on the day. I did. I got trailed out 74.70s. I was just giving it like a point off those highs. It's kind of unfortunate, but after the way the morning move was kind of one not holding off 68.70s initially there, and the weakness kind of in the Dow, the strength that I was seeing in the S&P's NASDAQ, I was more so leaning towards the idea if maybe we ranged out, then obviously we just pop up, we get those new highs in the Russell, and then, you know, kind of falter back down, set up the daily 1, 2, 3 for tomorrow. So that was kind of my thinking on that, at least initially, but it's made a nice move. If anybody's still continuing to hold that and didn't take it off there around opening print, either way, I think it's fine. I mean, it just depends on what your objective was from that trade, what you're allowed to do with it. I do like the Russell from a weekly standpoint up to that like 271 and change in the IWM. It's probably not really worth it anywhere at the moment. Yeah. Holding 1 minute for me. Appreciate that. For your sake, I hope that Russell rallies up, gets these overnight highs. I mean, it'd be nice if we went to 27.45s in Russell, but I would much prefer that not to be today, because then I would be a little upset if we ripped 70 points out from where I decided to take it off at. That would be super unfortunate for me. Tesla getting some love here too. That chart overall is just very different. Oh, I guess if that weekly does want to flip, I don't know, up over 423s this week in Tesla, and we have a really good shot, I think, at getting back to 439.82s, and then from there it's pretty much wide open territory. I don't know that we see that move, but that would require NASDAQ to probably completely flip that entire week from last week and essentially go back to like 26 314s, which it's only 1,000 points from here, so NASDAQ could certainly do it. I just don't think that it's going to be a straight line. Spotify, Shopify, Hood, Coinbase, Pinterest. There's some decent names on the board, but nothing like Lyft, Datadog. Actually, Cloudflare. Oh, there's not. There's more than I thought. DraftKings, McDonald's. McDonald's has looked like that chart looks phenomenal. Just crazy. What do I think of MU? Damn. I don't. I mean, a chart that goes from 125 to 425 in just the span of a couple of months is always a little bit of a reason for concern. Yeah, I don't know. That weekly chart just scares me. It's not to say that it can't continue, but it scares me just a little bit. Yeah, Russell off the level was nice. I don't know that I necessarily would say I mismanaged that, but I certainly could have managed it probably a little bit better to try and capture the rest of this move at least. That's a nice 100-point push in the Dow there once we got back up through opening print. We're kind of, we still got a little bit of room left. I was going to say we're coming up towards overnight highs here for S&Ps. Like I said, I would be more okay if we don't make the move today and we just kind of range. I don't guess we technically cracked those overnight lows for the S&Ps, did we? Yeah, we were close, but nothing. Damn, that move's actually kind of crazy. Total range on the day is 46.5 points for the S&Ps. It doesn't feel like that. RTY trailed, yeah. Decent little pullback for NASDAQ there. Decent little S&P pullback as well. Yeah, Russell, I like. Again, I would much prefer that we kind of fade back down. Like, I'm happy to be green on the day if like that's going to be the measure of performance on the day. But at the same time, I would also just disregard that and just have the charts set up a little bit better for the rest of the week here. If we run away today, I think that makes it even more difficult for later in the week. So yeah, if we go a little bit higher, I don't think it's a problem, and then kind of pull back some. But if we were to absolutely just continue to rip and hold this trend for the day, then I think that would be a problem, and I would rather not see that happen. Unless that meant NVIDIA got like 202s. Because those like 6-cent options I bought in there would go to like $2.50. So like that would be fun. But otherwise it would not be fun. Mm-hmm. 10:28. We might make it an early stream today, honestly. Mm-hmm. This would be the little pullback here for some continuation. Russell already pushing back up to those highs, making new highs now, down new highs. Again, I would prefer we don't do that today and run away. Kind of feel like I should have some of this on, but not when we rip 50, 60 points out of it. The divergence in the Dow is pretty nice down there, actually. We're starting out with some pretty decent movement on the week, though, so I'm not mad about that. I just, again, would be a little bit happier if it didn't do it, but I don't think I really get that choice this morning. Uh, Damn, gold just exploded there. 50.72s, nice little push in there. Markets look like they're running away from me a bit here. It doesn't look like an insane amount of like fast momentum strength here, but it's just fairly consistent buying pressure. We'll see if that stalls out like up around the overnight highs there. We got another, I don't know, 6, 7 points to go for S&Ps here. We're basically there, 3 points or so to go for the Russell. So we're kind of getting up in towards that range. Could I have probably held a little bit better for that move and kind of followed that part of the plan? Yeah, probably could make an argument that I could have done that just a little bit better here. Especially considering the entry that we grabbed down there around 68.70s. was a pretty tight little 2-minute entry. So it's unfortunate to be another like 12 points right here, which is like another 3 Rs. So could make a pretty decent argument on that, but I'm okay with it at the moment. I think it makes the rest of the day a little bit more difficult though, because the question is if we do run away, then at this point now we'd have to wait for new pullbacks for longs, right? If we take that long, then we rally up and we make essentially overnight highs and then fail, well then, there's not a ton of risk reward up into those highs at the moment, considering we're just a couple points away here now. So the risk reward's kind of skewed on that. If we do pop those highs and then kind of fail and fade back down, I'm not super interested in shorting that either. So I think it's kind of tough. I think if you have a position on, you're managing it, then perfect. If you're looking for new entries or something else to do, I think that's going to be the tough part. Russell's about to get these overnight highs. And it just did. Darn it. Darn it. Yeah, it did. We left a little bit on the table. I'm okay with it though at the moment, I think. You gotta pop up through 79s on S&Ps. We traded 78, 75s. I know, right? RTY did me dirty. Honestly, it was more the Dow. Like the Dow not having that strength. Like I said, I mean, it was a weird little S&P NASDAQ had strength right out of the gate. Russell and Dow did not. It's kind of crazy we're playing as much catch up as we are here at the moment, but Russell and Dow were the stronger markets. They have been the stronger markets, so I shouldn't necessarily be too surprised in that. We've rallied a good 100 plus points here since Nvidia was at 192.84s, and it's still sitting down beneath that level at the moment. AMD looks like it might try and make that move. I don't know that I really trust any of these individual names at the moment. As much as it is an index like selection type of week, it's certainly going to be a stock pickers type of week. Like, very easily. Was it tell me that's not the case. Was that Alex G again that freaking did the Super Bowl? Did he streak the Super Bowl again? Is that who that was? I'm pretty sure that's who that was. Yeah, that's who that was. This dude actually did it again. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's actually what that was. Did you guys see that at the Super Bowl last night? Saw it on IG. Yeah, that's crazy. I think that's 2 Super Bowls in a row now. They're gonna start like locking that down differently somehow to keep that from happening, especially if it's like repeat offenders like that. I wonder what's the like penalty? Streaking the Super Bowl typically results in an immediate arrest, a lifetime ban from the stadium, and criminal charges, misdemeanor, trespassing. So according to a Santa Clara Police Department, he was charged with trespassing, a misdemeanor, as well as a field intrusion charge. That was it, I guess. It's hilarious. I'm gonna have a feeling that Alex G probably has enough money that he's not gonna spend a year in jail, but they could make an example out of him at some point. It's not the first time he's done it, so well, I don't know. That'd be unfortunate for him, but also just like, why do you want to go to jail in LA in the first place? Well, I guess technically it'd be closer to San Francisco. Either way, why do you want to go to jail? I guess at all is the question. No, he was promoting his own thing. He had his Instagram and stuff like written on his body. Like I said, he did it last year too, or a year before, maybe something like that. I feel like he should have. Nah, never mind. I'm not gonna say that. I wonder if the player would get in trouble if they hit him. This gold move is nice. All right. I don't think I'm going to be doing anything else here. Like I said, I don't think I have anything else necessarily to do here either. So like that kind of helps in that. Um, like I said, I kind of like NVIDIA here still. I don't know if it gets crazy and makes the move to 202s or not, but if it does, I picked up a little bit of 200 calls. They're like 2 cents right now. So I think I paid 6 cents and 4 cents for them. So they're nothing crazy, but they would be kind of nice at like $2.50. So Nasdaq is getting a bit more of a move than I kind of expected here. I was thinking we'd be a little bit quieter over there today, but I mean total range on the day is like 300 plus points now in the Nasdaq, which is pretty decent. Dan picking up 250 points on the Dow. That's a nice little Monday. That is a nice Monday. You took that divergence off the lows, huh? I see that. I see that. Um, but yeah, I'm honestly probably gonna start to look to wrap it up here in the next couple of minutes. I don't think there's gonna be anything else for me to do. Tesla's starting to make a nice move. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take my little small green day and go away before I try and get myself into something that I don't want to necessarily do on a Monday. Yeah, did I leave some on the table? Certainly. Um, but I would rather that be the case. Walk away, come back tomorrow with a clean slate, small green on the day, and I know that's a bad performance measure, but I would rather that than to essentially have a little bit of FOMO here, do something dumb, give back the green, be red, and have FOMO, um, all at the same time. Like that's a little bit worse, I think, personally. So I would rather keep the little bit of money from today and then look to try and build on that later this week as opposed to I think here on the day. Is Tesla starting to move? Yes. I don't fully trust any of these names though. That's the piece that is kind of keeping me away as well. And I really don't know how much more market actually has. Like, yes, Russell has a ton of room, but does S&P's, Nasdaq specifically, do they have plenty of room? I don't know yet. So, um, yeah, that's what I got. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna drop this link in real quick. I'm gonna try and start doing a better job of this. There we go. Lucid's the prop firm of the day. So if you guys have yet to try them out, then click on the link I just dropped, code MLT. If it's a new account for you, you've never traded with them, I believe you're getting up to like 40% off right now. 40% off to up to first 5 uses, something like that. They've got a little promo running at the moment. And yeah, code MLT will get you that best deal. And yeah, I think that's all it was. Hopefully you guys caught some of this move because I'm starting to get a little bit more FOMO now. We were talking about NASDAQ down there at like 120s. We're currently 320s. So that's nothing like light 200 point move in the NASDAQ. I mentioned it. I was like, it's either a Russell long here or it is a NASDAQ long from here. And unfortunately, I did not take NASDAQ. Tesla getting a really nice move there. I'm going to set some alerts because over 423s, I'm interested in that. I don't know if I'll do anything with it today if it happens, but certainly on the board for kind of the rest of this week. That was a nice little move down here. Who knows? Maybe if NASDAQ decides to rip out, like I said, it's got 1,000 points. It's got 1,000 points to go. Maybe it'll take NVIDIA up there into 202.34s with it. So we'll see if that wants to be the case. Actually, let me use the little tool real quick. Where's that at? Where's that at? Let's see, levels, and let's go NVIDIA. And it is giving me, yeah, 192.10 current price, 192.84s, and 202.34s, 210.96s. It's realistically where we have room to. Sweet. Awesome. All right, well, I'm gonna wrap it up for today. Like I said, I don't want to get I don't want to get any more FOMO than what I already have, so I might not even check charts later. Russell's like 20 couple points above where I got out at this point, so that's always fun. Actually, 22 points above, 21 points above, whatever it is. So yeah, anyways, a decent little start to Monday. We're green. We're going to keep trying to compound on that. But a massive move kind of overall, I think, here for indices first thing Monday morning, considering where we're at on the charts and all that. So interesting. I'm here for it. I'll be more than open to the volatility this week if that's going to be the thing that we continue to get. So, but yeah. Anyways, that's what I got. I'm going to run. There's links in the description below. Obviously, thank you guys so much for tuning on. Give me a thumbs up on this video, like, comment, subscribe, all of those fun things if you haven't already done so. And we'll be back again tomorrow. We do have Friday I'm taking off, but we do have a full week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then next week is markets are closed Monday for President's Day, I think it is. Then we'll have a 4-day week next week. So I'm actually turning it into a 4-day weekend, taking Friday off. It's also Friday the 13th. Probably not the best idea to be trading if you're superstitious. And then the following day is Valentine's Day. So it's, you know, take from that information what you will. But I will be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And so far I'm liking the action we're getting. We'll see if it wants to continue to look like this for the rest of the week. All we got to do is try and find longs and then hold on is essentially going to be the game plan. So until something changes. But yeah, that's what I got. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.